The alarm never went off. That's how we knew something was wrong. The yard was full. Too full. Men stood in tight groups, not talking, not moving. Every face was hard. Every eye watched someone else. The guards stayed back near the wall, hands on their radios, waiting. Then a man dropped to the ground. Not from heat, not from sickness. He dropped because he was told to. A voice cut through the yard. Calm, cold, now. Two groups stepped forward at the same time. Rival gangs. Different colors. Different signs. Same rules. I froze where I stood. My heart beat fast. Sweat ran down my neck. I knew this prison. I knew what was about to happen. Inside this place, gangs controlled every move. And right now, they were about to prove it. Someone screamed my name from behind me. I turned, and that's when I saw the guards backing away. That's when I realized the prison wasn't in charge anymore. The gangs were. And if I made one wrong move, I wouldn't walk back to my cell. 6 months earlier, I walked into Iron Lake Correctional Facility with my hands shaking. My name is Daniel Carter. I was 32 years old. I had never been to prison before. I was sentenced to 8 years for armed robbery. No one got hurt. I told myself I could survive if I kept my head down. I was wrong. Iron Lake sat in the middle of nowhere. Tall fences, razor wire, gray walls that looked like they never ended. From the outside, it looked strong. From the inside, it felt broken. On my first day, a guard leaned close and said, "Listen carefully. We don't run this place." I laughed a little. "Who does?" He didn't smile. "You'll see." I was taken to Unit C. Old cells, narrow halls, paint peeling off the walls. The noise never stopped. Yelling, banging, whispers through vents. My cellmate was a quiet man named Marcus Hill. He had been inside for 10 years. He didn't look at me when I walked in. "Any advice?" I asked. He sat on his bunk and finally spoke. "Pick a side fast, or they'll pick for you." "I'm not in a gang," I said. He nodded slowly. "That won't matter." The first night, I didn't sleep. Men walked the tier like guards, stopping at cells, talking in low voices. They weren't wearing badges. They didn't need them. The next morning, I learned the rules. The yard was split. One side belonged to one gang. The other side belonged to another. You didn't cross lines. You didn't sit at the wrong table. You didn't talk to the wrong people. The guards watched, but they didn't step in unless blood was already on the ground. "Achoo!" A big man blocked my way. "Where are you from?" he asked. "Ohio," I said. He nodded to another man. "That's their side." I didn't even know who they were yet. Marcus pulled me back. "Not today," he said to the man. The man smiled. "Tomorrow, then." That was a low moment. Quiet, slow, but heavy. Days passed. I learned to move when told, to stand when told, to sit when told. It wasn't written anywhere, but everyone knew. One afternoon, a man named Luis didn't listen. He sat at the wrong table. No one touched him at first. They just stared. Later that night, the tier went quiet. Too quiet. In the morning, Luis was taken out on a stretcher. The guard said he fell. No one believed that. That was my first high moment. Extreme. Loud. Fast. After that, I stopped pretending I could stay neutral. Marcus pulled me aside. "You need protection." "I don't want trouble," I said. He looked tired. "Trouble wants you." I watched how things worked. Messages passed through laundry. Orders whispered in the showers. Decisions made during rec time. If a gang wanted the phones, they got the phones. If they wanted to sell empty, it was empty by night. The guards let it happen. Some were scared. Some were paid. Some just wanted to go home alive. Weeks later, I was approached. A man named Victor Reed stood in front of me. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. "You move with us now," he said. I didn't answer. He leaned closer. "You already do." From that day on, my life wasn't mine. I stood where they told me, walked when they nodded, looked away when they said so. If I didn't, Marcus would pay, or someone else would. Those were the low days. Long quiet, heavy, Then the prison got tense. Rumors spread. Another gang was pushing back. Lines were being tested. A message was sent the wrong way. Someone talked to the guards. That's when lockdown started. Short ones at first. Then longer. Then none at all. One night, alarms screamed and the lights went out. Doors buzzed open for seconds. Screams echoed through the halls. In the morning, blood stains were scrubbed clean. The warden called it a power failure. Everyone knew better. Marcus stopped talking after that night. He stopped eating. He told me, they're planning something big. I asked when. He said soon. That soon came on a hot afternoon. The yard filled. Too many men. Too quiet. Guards stayed back, watching their radios like they might save them. And then the man dropped to the ground. The moment the man hit the ground, time slowed. No one rushed to help him. No guard moved forward. Everyone waited. That was the rule. I stood frozen, my hands clenched into fists. My eyes moved without my head turning. Left, right, front, back. Every gang was in position, like they had practiced this moment over and over. Marcus leaned close to me. His voice was barely a breath. Don't move unless they say. The man on the ground groaned. Blood leaked from under his shirt. He tried to roll over. A whistle cut through the air. That sound didn't come from a guard. It came from Victor Reed. Two men stepped forward from one side of the yard. Two from the other. Rival gangs. Enemies. But right now, they were working together. That's how Iron Lake worked. The gangs didn't just fight. They negotiated. The man on the ground was named Kevin Ross. He was new. 3 months in. He talked too much. Asked too many questions. He didn't understand that in this prison, information was more dangerous than fists. Kevin tried to crawl. A boot pressed on his back and pushed him flat. I looked toward the guards. One of them had his radio up, but he wasn't speaking. Another guard turned his head away. That's when it hit me. The gangs weren't just controlling the inmates. They were controlling the timing. Victor raised his hand. Enough, he said. Just like that, the men stepped back. Kevin lay still, breathing fast, crying. Victor looked around the yard. This is what happens when rules are broken. Then he looked straight at me. My stomach dropped. You, he said, walk. I didn't ask why. I walked. Every step felt like I was stepping on thin ice. Men watched me pass. Some with hate, some with pity, some with nothing at all. Victor stopped near the fence. You think you're invisible, he said calmly. You're not. I don't want trouble, I replied. He smiled. Nobody here does. Kevin was dragged away by guards minutes later. Alive. Barely. The yard went back to normal, like nothing happened. That scared me more than the attack. Later that night, Marcus finally spoke again. They're testing loyalty, he said. Whose? I asked. Everyone's. The days that followed were tense but quiet. Those were the low moments. No fights. No lockdowns. Just pressure. The gangs tightened their grip. If you wanted a shower, you waited. If you wanted a phone, you paid. If you wanted to eat in peace, you sat where you were told. The guards followed the schedule the gangs set. Count times shifted. Yard times shortened or stretched. Even meal portions changed depending on who complained. Iron Lake wasn't a prison anymore. It was a controlled zone. One night, Marcus didn't come back from the showers. His towel was left on my bunk. That never happened. I waited. Count came. His name was called. No answer. The guard marked it down and moved on. I didn't sleep. The next morning, I saw Marcus in the medical unit. Through the window, his face was swollen. One eye shut. 2 guards stood outside laughing. When he saw me, he shook his head slowly. Don't ask. That was my breaking point. I realized something then. Staying quiet wouldn't save me. It would only decide when. A week later, a rumor spread fast. One gang was planning to take over the phones completely. The other gang wouldn't allow it. The balance was about to break. That's when the orders came. Movements changed. Cells swapped. Certain inmates were told to stay inside during yard. Others were told to be ready. Victor came to me again. You'll stand near the west wall tomorrow, he said. Why? I asked. So you can see what happens, he replied. The next day, the heat was worse than before. The yard filled again. Too full, too quiet. The guards took their positions. Farther back this time. I stood by the west wall like I was told. Across the yard, I saw members of both rival gangs staring at each other. Hands flexing, jaws tight. No whistles this time. No warning. The first punch landed hard. Then everything exploded. Men rushed forward. Fists flew. Bodies crashed to the ground. Someone screamed. Someone fell and didn't get back up. Guards shouted, but they didn't move in. Not yet. I was shoved from behind. I hit the wall hard. Pain shot through my shoulder. Then I saw Victor again. He wasn't fighting. He was watching. And then I understood the worst truth of Iron Lake. The gangs didn't just control every move. They controlled when chaos was allowed. And right now, chaos had permission. Chaos swallowed the yard. Men ran in every direction. Some fought. Some tried to escape. Some froze where they stood, not knowing which move would get them hurt faster. Dust and sweat filled the air. Shouts echoed off the walls like thunder. I pressed my back to the fence, trying to stay small. A man fell near my feet. His nose was bleeding. He looked up at me, scared like a kid. Help me, he said. Before I could move, someone pulled him away by the collar. That's when the guards finally rushed in. Batons swung. Pepper spray filled the air. Alarm screamed so loud my ears rang. Men dropped to the ground, coughing, crying, begging. It was over in minutes. But the damage was done. The yard was shut down for weeks after that. Full lockdown. Meals in cells. No phones. No showers unless guards allowed it. Those were the low days again. Slow. Quiet. Heavy. Marcus was moved to another unit. I never saw him again. No one told me where he went. I was alone now. During lockdown, the gangs didn't lose control. They adapted. Orders came through the vents. Messages tapped through walls. Guards carried notes without knowing it, passing laundry bags from one cell to another. One night, Victor's voice came through the vent. You still listening? He asked. I didn't answer. You're useful, he continued. That's why you're still breathing. That wasn't comfort. That was a warning. Days later, the warden made an announcement over the loudspeaker. Order has been restored, he said. Men laughed in their cells. When the yard finally reopened, everything looked calm. Too calm. New lines were drawn. New leaders stood where old ones used to be. One gang had lost ground. The other had gained it. But the control was stronger than ever. Then something unexpected happened. A guard got stabbed. Not badly, but enough. The prison went into panic mode. This time, outside eyes came in. State officials, inspectors, people with clean shoes and serious faces. For the first time, the guards looked nervous. The gangs noticed. Victor stopped showing up in the yard. Whispers spread. Phones buzzed with rumors. Someone had talked. Someone had proof. One afternoon, my cell door opened. Pack up, a guard said. My heart jumped. Where am I going? He looked at me for a long moment, then said, protective custody. That's when I knew. They didn't want me protected. They wanted me quiet. Protective custody was just another cage. Smaller, whiter, louder in your head. I stayed there for months. While I was inside, Iron Lake changed. Fights dropped. Lockdowns eased. Guards started stepping in sooner. Victor Reed was transferred. No one said where. The gangs lost their balance. They still existed, but they didn't control every move anymore. 1 year later, I was released early for good behavior. When I walked out of Iron Lake, the sun felt too bright. The air felt strange, like I didn't deserve it. I still think about the yard, about the man who dropped when he was told, about Marcus, about how close I came to disappearing. Iron Lake still stands. People still live inside it. But I know the truth. I lived inside the prison where rival gangs controlled every move. And once you see how power really works in a place like that, you never forget it.